What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is January 1st, 2025, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 21:44 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Louisiana. So if you guys haven't heard, there was an ISIS sleeper cell attack in New Orleans last night. And what you're looking at here is the picture of the attacker and also his F-150 pickup truck that he used to drive into a crowd of people. We're hearing that as many as 10 people are dead and at least 30 people injured. This happened on Bourbon Street in downtown New Orleans. The FBI has confirmed that they are investigating this as a terror attack. The F-150 was actually an electric version of the F-150. It was the F-150 Lightning. There was an ISIS flag posted on the vehicle. The suspect is confirmed as 42-year-old Shamsud Din Jabbar. He's a U.S. citizen from Texas. He was also in the U.S. Army for several years, and he was also a member of the U.S. Army Reserves. So this is very, very concerning. This is something that I've been warning you guys about. Sleeper cell attacks in the U.S., okay? The suspect also opened fire on police, and he was shot and killed. Law enforcement is investigating at least 2 potential IEDs planted in the area. So there were some bombs that were planted around the area. They were apparently disarmed and confirmed to have been actual bombs, okay? So he had bombs placed in the area, and then he drove through a crowd of people. Former U.S. Army, okay, very, very concerning. The Sugar Bowl was postponed until tomorrow, and the Louisiana governor has declared a state of emergency, okay? We're also hearing that U.S. intelligence has officially classified this attack as a terrorist attack, which is the first in the last few years on U.S. soil. And the FBI released a statement stating this morning an individual drove a car into a crowd of people on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, killing a number of people and injuring dozens of others. The subject then engaged with local law enforcement and is now deceased. The FBI is the lead investigative agency, and we are working with our partners to investigate this as an act of terrorism. Investigators in New Orleans on Wednesday found 2 homemade bombs in the wake of the deadly truck attack in the city's French Quarter. Those devices have been rendered safe, according to an FBI official. Okay, so this is very, very serious, guys. Over 10 people killed. Okay, 10 people killed, dozens injured. This is one reason why you have to carry your firearms with you all the time. Okay, if you live in a state that allows you to carry firearms on your person legally, you should be doing that all the time, 24/7, okay? Because you never know when something is going to happen, and it's always going to happen when you least expect it, okay? Like when you're out having a good time on New Year's Eve, trying to enjoy your life with your loved ones or your friends, and suddenly this maniac in a pickup truck tries to run you over, okay? So, be aware of your surroundings, okay, and carry your firearms all the time if you can legally do so, all right? And Biden made a statement. I'm going to play for you what he said this evening. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is EMP Shield. Guys, I'm proud to announce that I'm going to be partnering with EMP Shield. They have just given me a special discount code just for my subscribers. If you go to empshield.com and use the code NYPrepper when you check out, you'll get 15% off your entire order. good for anything on their website. They're also doing a Cyber Monday sale. Guys, the threat of an EMP has never been higher, and you need to protect your vehicle and critical electronics. The EMP Shield is a device that protects your vehicle's computer or electronics by installing in line with the electrical system. The EMP Shield has passed rigorous military testing and is compliant with several military standards. They're also IP66 weatherproof and made in the USA. They can be used to protect your ham radio base stations, your RV, your camper, your solar generator, and various other things in addition to your vehicle. So go to empshield.com, use the discount code NYPrepper to get 15% off, and the link and the discount code are in the description below this video. And right now we have a presidential doomsday plane up in the air heading to Warner Robins in Georgia. But what's interesting is that this doomsday plane took off from Cocoa Beach earlier this afternoon, and it flew up to Delaware and the DC area, made this big loop here around the DC area, and then it went to Offutt Air Base, and then it took off from Offutt Air Base and is now going to Warner Robins. So clearly this doomsday plane was deployed in the event of a continuity of government situation or potentially an attack on the homeland of some kind. They put it in the air and had it go up towards DC in the event of some kind of mass sleeper cell attack. There was also a U.S. Department of Justice plane that went down to New Orleans earlier this afternoon from Richmond, and it's now returning back to Richmond. And also earlier this afternoon, we had 2 U.S. Air Force VIP planes go from D.C. to Los Angeles International Airport for some reason. These were C-32As. Okay, usually these are U.S. Air Force generals. So not sure why they went from D.C. to L.A., but definitely unusual. And here's the statement from Biden. Let me play this for you.
Justice, including the FBI, for working nonstop to investigate this heinous act. The FBI is leading the investigation to determine what happened, why it happened, and whether there was any continuing threat to public safety. Here's what we know so far. The FBI has reported to me the killer was an American citizen, born in Texas. He served in the United States Army on active duty for many years. He also served in the Army Reserve until a few years ago. The FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill. The ISIS flag was found in his vehicle, which he rented to conduct this attack. Possible explosives were found in the vehicle as well, and more explosives were found nearby. The situation is very fluid, and the investigation has a preliminary stage. And the fact is that right now, there you go. The law enforcement and intelligence community are continuing to look for any connections, associations, or co-conspirators. We have nothing additional to report at this time. The investigation is continuing to be active, and no one should jump to conclusions. I've directed my Attorney General, the FBI Director, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the head of the National Counterterrorism Center, and the intelligence community to work on this intensively until we have a full and complete information. And once we have that information, I will share that information as soon as we can confirm it.
So this is very, very weird. Okay, one of the FBI agents in charge of the investigation, Alethea Duncan, said that they cannot go into details about the subject's history, okay? But here you can hear Biden clearly saying that he was an active duty soldier in the U.S. Army for several years, obviously, and then he went into the reserves, okay? So that is very strange. What's also strange is that these barriers that Louisiana built in New Orleans were not used last night for some reason. Normally these barriers are lifted from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. and for some reason they were not lifted last night. Supposedly they were undergoing replacement or maintenance, but you would think on New Year's Eve of all nights they would have these barriers ready to be used. Okay, I find it hard to believe that they would schedule maintenance right before a major holiday for the New Orleans area where it gets crowded and there's all kinds of troublemakers and issues. Okay, so that's pretty weird. So we're going to keep an eye on this. We also have some very concerning news coming from Las Vegas. What you're looking at here is a picture of one of Elon Musk's Cybertrucks. This is the Tesla Cybertruck, and it exploded outside of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Now, Elon Musk confirmed that this explosion had nothing to do with the vehicle itself, and they found a whole bunch of fireworks and explosives and gas cans in the trunk of this Cybertruck after it blew up, and there is video footage out there on social media of this thing blowing up. You can see it on a security camera. Unfortunately, I cannot share that with you on YouTube, okay, but there were remains of gas cans, fireworks, lighter fuel, and other explosive and incendiary items. Very, very strange. Here we have this tweet from Elon Musk saying, "We have confirmed that the explosion was caused by very large fireworks and or a bomb carried in the bed of the rented Cybertruck and is unrelated to the vehicle itself. All vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the explosion. The whole Tesla senior team is investigating this matter right now. We'll post more information as soon as we learn anything." And here's a picture of the trunk or the bed full of explosive and incendiary materials. Okay, so clearly this was done to intimidate Trump or intimidate Elon Musk. Okay, basically like a terror attack. And last night, right around midnight, lightning struck the Capitol building in D.C. and also the Washington Monument. Here we have video footage of that. Check this out. Wow, look at that. Absolutely insane. And also the Washington Monument was hit with lightning as well, right around midnight. So I don't know if that's a sign. I don't know if God is trying to warn us, but this is very, very creepy. And it's very unusual for there to be lightning in D.C. in January. Okay, late December, early January is the middle of winter already in the D.C. area, and thunderstorms are pretty much unheard of. Okay, so this is very, very weird. And then here we have video footage of the Washington Monument being struck by lightning. Check this out. Absolutely insane. And we're hearing that multiple people were injured in South Korea at a market in Seoul after a vehicle crashed into a number of people. So looks like terrorism striking all around the globe. There were also some strange explosions in Berlin last night. We're also hearing some more concerning information coming out of China with regards to bugs. So China declared a state of emergency as various epidemics have overwhelmed hospitals and crematoriums. Multiple viruses, including the influenza A, HMPV, mycoplasma pneumonia, and COVID, are spreading rapidly across China. So this is very, very concerning. And last night, close to midnight, we had these klaxon alarms on one of the Russian nuclear war frequencies playing. So a klaxon alarm is basically like an old school missile alarm. So I don't know if that's a sign from Russia, if they're trying to scare us or what, but let me play this for you. And on the eve of New Year's Eve, we heard some Russian nuclear codes transmitted on the air horn, which is one of Russia's nuclear war frequencies. Let me play that for you. You can very faintly hear a Russian male voice reading off various numbers in the background, and then you can hear this data stream. So here we go. It sounds to me like he's counting from 1 to 10. I do know a little bit of Russian, and I can hear четыре, пять, шесть, and all the other ones. 1 to 10, it sounds like he's counting 1 to 10. Very, very strange. And a Virginia man was arrested after federal authorities found a cache of homemade explosive devices, some of which were marked as lethal at his home, marking the largest seizure by number of finished explosive devices in FBI history. 150 homemade explosives in Virginia. Guys, it sounds like we have some false FLAGs being planned by our government. Okay, we have to be on high alert. This is very, very strange. All these incidents happening right around New Year's. And apparently Ukraine is going to attempt another invasion into Kursk. This time they're going to focus closer to Belgorod, and where Kursk and Belgorod meet, apparently they're going to deploy 20,000 soldiers in the coming days and weeks. So this is pretty interesting. And North Korean forces on the territory of the Russian Federation have low combat effectiveness and are suffering significant losses in clashes with Ukrainians, according to the Pentagon. And the Russian ambassador in Romania was found unconscious on New Year's Eve night at the Russian embassy. Very, very strange. And Chinese air and naval forces staged combat readiness patrols around the Scarborough Shoal this past Sunday, marking Beijing's final major show of strength against Manila over the disputed South China Sea maritime feature in 2024. According to the Chinese Ministry of National Defense, the SNAP PLA Southern Theater Command drills were conducted to resolutely safeguard China's national sovereignty and security and maintain peace and stability in the South China Sea. Media released by the Chinese military show various patrol aircraft, fighter jets, and H-6 bombers flying over the Scarborough Shoal. They were also joined by a naval task force consisting of a replenishment vessel, a 052D class destroyer, and a 055 class destroyer. So some Chinese destroyers accompanying these aircraft and fighter jets and bombers over the Scarborough Shoal. And here we have video footage of that. And China's President Xi Jinping told Putin in a New Year's Eve phone call that he is ready to maintain close exchanges to continue consolidating and deepening China-Russia ties, featuring permanent, good neighborly friendship. And the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un told Putin in a phone call on New Year's Eve, "I wish 2025 to be a year of great victory for the Russian army and people in defeating neo-Nazism." And in his official New Year's address, Chinese President Xi Jinping declared Taiwan as part of China. He said, quote, "The people on both sides of the Taiwan Strait are one family. No one can sever our family bonds, and no one can stop the historical trend of national reunification." And Russian media reported that there was a Ukrainian drone strike on the Druzhba oil pipeline in the Bryansk region of Russia. Now, this is the pipeline that supplies oil and gas to Europe, okay? And it was officially cut off at midnight Ukraine time when the contract expired. Ukraine said they're not going to renew another contract. And we know that Slovakia has already threatened to even invade Ukraine if they were to do that. So this is very, very serious. Now a drone strike on this pipeline, and Ukrainian drones hit an oil depot in Smolensk, Russia. That's in western Russia, close to Belarus. And the U.S. carried out multiple precision strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen's capital, Sana'a, as well as the country's coastal regions. So another strike on Yemen by the U.S. And here we have video footage showing these U.S. strikes on Yemen. You can see the fighter jets taking off. And what's interesting about this video is you can actually see some missiles being launched from the deck of a destroyer, which is pretty unusual. We actually haven't heard of the U.S. using missiles on Yemen from destroyers. Okay, we've heard of fighter jets being used with air-launched missiles, but now they're actually using missiles from destroyers, so that's definitely an escalation. And a man was slashed on the neck on a New York City subway platform yesterday morning. There was also a guy that was pushed in front of a train in the New York City subway. And already 2 people have been set on fire in the New York City subway system. So, you know, the reason why this happens, if you guys are not aware, New York City has the strictest gun laws and the strictest personal protection laws. You literally cannot even carry pepper spray or a folding pocket knife in New York City. Cannot carry a gun, forget about that. So people are literally sitting ducks, okay? And Northwestern University engineers have achieved quantum teleportation over standard fiber optic cables carrying regular internet traffic, eliminating the need for dedicated lines. Using entangled photons, the team transferred quantum information securely and without interference alongside everyday data. Lead researcher Prem Kumar called it a path towards next-generation networks, opening doors to quantum computing, encryption, and advanced metrology. I don't know what metrology means. So this is for quantum computing. If you guys don't know what that is, your computer or your internet that you have now uses what are known as bits, and all that is just an electrical pulse, okay? And depending on how many pulses there are, you can convert that into data. And the downside to this system is the electrical pulses are not very fast, okay? So you have lag, takes longer to process things. But with quantum computing, you're actually using photons. You're using light instead of electrical pulses. So you still have those pulses, but the pulses are from light and not from electricity, okay? So that makes it much faster. And quantum computing is the future, okay? Quantum computers are going to be able to break normal encryption algorithms within seconds, okay? So just think about the computers in the 80s and 90s, the old Macintosh computers with floppy disks, and compare that to your cell phone now. Your cell phone is many times faster, has more data storage, etc., better processing than a giant computer from the 90s. And so think about the next leap in technology, which is going to happen in the coming 5 to 10 years with quantum computing. Our smartphones and our computers that we use now are going to be very, very slow compared to these new ones that come out that are going to be enabled for quantum computing, okay? So this could be a potential cybersecurity concern in the coming years once quantum computing gets more established. The encryption algorithms that we use now are going to basically be useless. So they're going to have to create massive encryption algorithms. Everything is going to have to be changed, all the encryption standards. And last night we had a Chinese recon drone in the Yellow Sea flying parallel to the western shore of South Korea. Also, there was a South Korean recon plane patrolling the border of North Korea. There was also a U.S. Air Force Cobra Ball that flew up to the Sea of Japan. Now, Cobra Ball is a special plane used to detect and track missiles. So potentially the U.S. was concerned about some kind of a missile test, either by North Korea or China, and they dispatched this Cobra Ball. And then also this Chinese recon drone in the Yellow Sea is very rare. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So that's definitely a sign that China is preparing for military action in this part of the world. Also, we had a P-8 Poseidon sub-hunter off the coast of the Philippines here late last night. And then today we had another South Korean recon plane along the border. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I hope you guys had a great New Year's holiday. I hope you had a Merry Christmas. And I wish you guys all the best in 2025. Health, happiness, success. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.